This is a very gentle practice that is designed to support your luteal phase and help ease any symptoms you might be experiencing of PMS, particularly those waves of anxiety that can arise when our energy levels dip. Perhaps you're experiencing sleep disruptions that come when your hormone levels drop off. This one is great for that week or maybe the 3 to 5 days leading up to your period when perhaps you're still wanting to move your body, but in a way that feels restful and nourishing. So this is a short form practice. We're staying mat bound the entire time, and we're really moving body with breath. So we're letting the breath be the guide. You might show up with a bit of a quicker paced breath, especially if you're feeling any overwhelm or anxiety. And so through this grounding practice, we aim to kind of level that out and map the movement onto the breath. With this being a luteal phase practice and one that aims to address symptoms of anxiety, there's not a lot of instruction. So you'll find more pause between postures, more pause between instruction. We're trying to keep it very simple so that you can really move inward and be with whatever is arising. So anything that's coming to the surface, let the movement kind of metabolize that energy and help it dissolve. So we want this movement to feel like medicine, for it to feel nourishing for both your body and mind, but also your nervous system, so that you walk off your mat feeling more at ease. I love this practice as a way to unwind at the end of the day, especially, as I mentioned, if you're experiencing sleep disturbances at the end of your cycle. It's also a great one anytime you need just that quick movement break, or if you're feeling kind of that wired energy that can come at this time of the cycle. Just use this practice to kind of level things out and create more balance in the system. And let's get started with our practice. Let's begin our practice today in child's pose. So come onto hands and knees, bring your big toes to touch, let your knees splay wide apart. You can rest your forehead on your hands and just allow your awareness to drift inward. If this is uncomfortable at all, you can always find a tabletop or maybe simply come onto the forearms. Any position that really encourages your attention into your mat, onto this space. And as you rest here for a few moments, begin to deepen the breath in and out through the nose. And be with whatever arises. At this time in the cycle, you might be feeling a bit of a dip into premenstrual territory where energy levels are a bit lower, maybe mood is a bit unpredictable. So whatever has come up for you throughout your day, maybe throughout the last few days, just be with it here. Invite it to the surface such that your movement might metabolize it and let it dissolve. With your next breath, begin to stretch your arms out in front of you. Take a deep inhale here. With your exhale, press up into cat pose. So round the back, chin to chest. Really press into the hands to create space in the back of the heart. And as you inhale, soften the belly, stretch the spine forward, gaze up, shine your sitting bones back. Tuck your toes under as you exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Be here for a breath in downward dog, in through the nose and out through the nose. Let your next breath lower the knees to the mat. Inhale, belly expands. Send your gaze up. Let your sitting bones shine back. Cat pose, exhale, round the spine, press through the hands, create space in the back of the heart, chin to chest. Inhale, cow once again. Extend the spine, feel the wave ripple from the crown to the tail. And then as you exhale, child's pose, melt the hips down to the heels. We'll run through that a few more times. Each time I'll just cue breath and movement so you can flow however it feels best in your body. Enjoy a deep inhale here. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, downward dog. Stay for a full cycle of breath. Inhale, knees touch, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, child's pose. Stay here for the inhale. Press up on the exhale, cat. Soften in cow. Lift in downward dog, exhale. Stay for the breath. Let it out nice and slow. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, child's. Rest here for a few breaths. And so that series of movements, just waving through the spine, can be a practice in itself. So I encourage you anytime you need to create some circulation or move something through, if you have an emotion coming up or maybe something challenging, just find some space to ride the wave of your breath through the body. As you're ready, slowly come up, find tabletop. And then we'll lower all the way onto the belly. Hug your elbows in close to your sides. Spread your fingers. Activate your legs. 3 rounds of cobra here as you inhale. Lift the heart. Keep the hips grounded. Draw the elbows into the midline. Soften the shoulders. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, roll up. Lift the spine. Stretch back through the legs. And lower down. Exhale. Really anchor into the hip points. Inhale. Extend up from that point. Through the spine, out the crown. And lower down. Keep your knees grounded. Tuck your toes. Press back up into table. From here, step your right foot to the outside of your hands, coming into a nice long lizard position. Let your back leg be very heavy, so really feel some gravity in the top of the left thigh, melting it down into the mat. And then you can add a gentle sway side to side here. If it's available for you today, bring the left forearm down and then start to turn the right toes out to the side, so out to the right. Feel that external rotation in the hip. Maybe from here you start to lower on to the left side into more of a side-lying lizard or lounge lizard here. And then slowly coming back up into your lizard pose. Keep your left hand planted here. Inhale, rotate the right arm open. Feel a very generous twist into the back of the heart. As best as you can, keeping the hip points forward so you have this anchor point from which you can rotate open. On your next exhale, let the right hand come down to the outside of right foot. And from here, keep the right toes planted. So really create that connection of the right foot onto the mat. As you inhale, lift up through the heart. Feel a bit of extension in the spine. Nice separation between the thigh bones. And on your exhale, roll back, straighten that right leg any amount without lifting the right toes. So slightly different alignment here. Curl the chin to chest, round into the upper back. Inhale, come forward. Once again, lifting through the spine, feeling this all the way through the crown. And then exhale, keep those right toes planted as you straighten the right leg any amount and round through the spine. Draw your chin to your chest. Last one here, inhale, roll forward. Really feel a lift through the chest and heart. And then as you exhale, curl that in. Toes stay grounded. Inhale, come forward, back through your lunge. This time, sweep the arms out and open overhead. Bring your hands to your front thigh. Press them down and away as you stretch the heart up and back. Really create some stability through the back leg by pressing down through the back shin, top of the back foot, spreading the back toes. And from here, hands touch down to the inside of right foot. Tuck the back toes under. And from here, we're going to pivot the back shin to kickstand. So just rotate the shin to the right. And we'll come into kind of a half warrior two shape in the legs. You can keep your hands planted on the mat. From here, nice, generous, wide hip circles. So feel some fluidity here. Take out the hard edges. You can switch directions. Working that right leg all the way to straight and then bending. So really exploring the joints here, hip, knee, ankles. And just feel the bowl of the pelvis kind of soften and expand. Opening that root energy center in preparation for the next cycle. And then as you come up through center, let your right toes face the long edge of your mat. Inhale, sweep the left arm open. On your exhale, thread that left arm under right like you're reaching your left fingertips toward your right toes. Spider the right fingertips down into the earth. So you can rotate the heart open. Breathe here. Notice any places your breath can get stuck as you move into rotation, maybe in the low belly or the left side waist. Can you make these tiny adjustments to allow the breath to flow freely? Reopen here, left arm stretches up and hands touch down. If it's available in your left knee, begin to lower that left hip down onto the heel and hug your right knee into your side for a goddess seat here, just for a breath or two, really embodying this shape. You can bring your left hand to your heart and let your right arm open as if to receive, so that right palm nice and open. And then coming back onto hands and knees at the center of your mat here. And we'll slowly rise up to our kneeling position. We're preparing for supported camel, so this is a very gentle variation of this posture. And I'll show it from the side here so that you can see the position of the hands. So offer the arms forward, palms up again to receive. Begin to rotate the shoulders open. Draw your elbows into your sides. And then rotate the thumbs back. Notice what happens to your low ribs if they tend to flare. Can you connect low ribs and hip points together with that alignment in the tailbone? And then keeping that, can you lift up through the chest? So that's our starting alignment for camel. Bring your hands to your low back, either with fingers up or, if it's more comfortable, fingers pointing down. Once again, drawing the elbows to the midline. And then any amount, begin to move the thighs forward as you lift the heart up and back. So focus more on the lifting up here than necessarily bending back. And then fill your glutes into your hands. So there's a gentle contraction there. And use your hands to anchor the sacrum down towards your inner knees. So you're elongating the low spine, lifting up through the heart. Big belly breath, expand the rib cage. And then slowly coming back up through center. Pause for a moment in this kneeling shape. And then slowly let your hands touch down. You can wiggle out the spine a bit, letting any residual sensation release. So feeling into the sides of the waist, maybe a gentle round throughout the spine. Then from here, we'll take the left leg out long, and we'll work into the second side now. So creating those nice, slow, wide hip circles. Staying very close to the ground if you can. So especially if you are feeling that bit of anxiety or overwhelm that can arise at this point in the cycle, it can help to really connect your body to the ground. So through your finger pads, can you press down firmly? Can you broaden the bowl of the pelvis and bring it closer to the earth? And then from here, slowly allowing that left leg to straighten. Turn the toes so that they're facing the long edge of the mat. Outer edge of the foot is parallel to the short side. Begin to rotate the right arm open. Feel that stretch as if a gentle touch was pressing your palm. And then rotate right arm under left here, reaching right fingertips toward the left foot. Spider your left fingertips onto the mat to move the twist into the upper back. And then slowly unwind here. Right arm stretches skyward. Touch the hands down. Untuck the right toes if they're tucked under. And then lower the right hip to the right heel. Draw your left knee in, coming into goddess seat once again. This time right hand to heart. Left arm opens out to the side. You might allow the eyes to softly close here for a moment or two. And just ground into your power, your feminine power here. And then returning once again to left leg extended, right knee bent. And we'll just slowly transition now to the left side. So coming into your lizard lunge on the left side, hands to the inside of left foot. Untuck the back toes, let that right hip flexor, that right thigh become very heavy. So really give the weight over to gravity. You might find that gentle sway once again, letting the pelvis rotate. And then if it's available, letting the right forearm touch down. Turn left toes out to the left. Find external rotation in the left hip. And then begin to rotate on to the right side, onto your right hip for side lying lizard here. And again, nothing too intense or too strenuous, just allowing the body to kind of find that resting place within each posture. And then slowly coming out, back through your lizard shape, squaring the hips to the front. Keep your right hand planted. Inhale, spin your right arm open. Notice if you feel a bit more spacious now after the first side. And then the left hand touches down to frame the left foot. Keep your left toes firmly planted on the mat. Big inhale breath here, gentle extension of the spine. And then as you exhale, straighten the left leg any amount. Begin to round into the back, chin to chest. Inhale, come forward. Use the full length of each part of the breath. Exhale, roll back. So let your breath be the guide here. Tells you how quickly to move, how slowly to move. Coming back up through your lunge. This time, sweep the arms out and overhead. Feel that connection both down into your mat and upward towards the sky. Let your hands come down onto your left thigh. Press the arms out and away. Lengthen the heart up and back. As you're ready, the hands touch down to frame your left foot. Take your left knee back to join your right now in tabletop. We'll lower into puppy pose. As you're ready, walk the hands out as far as they'll go and keep some strength in the arms by pressing into the finger pads. Stretch the hip creases up and back. And then imagine you could soften your belly all the way to your thighs. Draw the points of the shoulder blades toward the hips. Create space in your neck. And slide forward into Sphinx. So the hips come down, forearms come down, heart lifts. Can you widen the collarbones apart, rotating the shoulders outward? And let the hips be really heavy here so you have a bit of a stable point that you can then press into the forearms to lift up through the spine. And then begin to pillow your hands. Let your forehead rest. Bend the knees, windshield wiper the legs side to side. Let your left leg extend. Reach your right hand for the top of your right foot. And any amount here, begin to draw the right heel toward your right sitting bone. And if this feels good, you want deeper sensation, you can start to lift the heart. Bring your left fingertips toward the top of your mat and find a deeper stretch, pressing right foot into right hand and finding equal and opposite action, drawing right hand into right foot. Keep the chest spacious. The head and neck soft. You might even release the chin. And slowly exchange. So pillow the head on the hands. Extend the right leg, bend the left knee. Let your left hand find your left foot. So you might be here just creating a very gentle stretch in the top of the left thigh. Or for a bit more sensation, turning the forearm towards the top of the mat. Pressing left foot into hand. Left hand into foot, letting the chest elevate. But again, the neck is free here, so no tension there. You might move the chin from side to side. And slowly release. Coming back into our resting position here with the forehead on the hands. Let your hands come by your sides here, only when you're ready, pressing up into tabletop. Crossing at the ankles to transition to a seat, so we'll come into a comfortable seated position here. Knees are generously bent. Shift forward onto the very tips of your sitting bones, so you have that anterior tilt in the pelvis. And then we'll simply enjoy a deep forward bend here with the knees bent, so not so much strain in the backs of the legs. Cross the wrists and reach for the outer edges of opposite feet. And then as you're ready, press your feet into your hands, draw your hands into your feet, round the back. So really turning inward here. Slowly release, come up. You can cross at the ankles now. And a generous bend in the knees again if you need it. And just start to walk forward any amount. So you might feel this in the outer top leg. Maybe the IT band. You can start to round the chin to chest again. Just notice how that changes the sensation. Awakens the rivers of the spine. Coming out as you're ready, switching the cross of your legs now, tilting forward and lowering any amount. So this need not be a lot. Doesn't take much in this cross-legged position to create a lot of sensation. And rising back up as you're ready. Bring the soles of the feet to touch, but let the heels be quite a distance from your hips. So it's kind of more of a diamond shape than the cobbler shape or butterfly. And from here, thread your hands under your shins, under your lower legs, bring them to the tops of your feet. We'll work through something of a cat and cow spine in this shape now, just to floss the nerves in the legs and glutes. As you're ready, inhale, send your heart forward. A gentle tug on the tops of your feet with your hands, like you're rolling the pelvis forward, so you're moving the pubic bone toward the earth. And then as you exhale, reverse that. So round the spine, chin to chest. Press the soles of your feet together and drag them away. Inhale, come forward. Ripple up the spine, and then as you exhale, round. Inhale, come forward. So we're drawing the heels toward the pubic bone towards the floor, and then reversing that, exhale, round. As you're ready, letting that go. You can pedal out your feet, shake it out a bit. Maybe bring the knees into a deep bend, soles of the feet on the mat, and just windshield wiper a few rounds here before we come onto the back. In your own time, gently lower to the back, hug your knees into your chest. And then lower the knees over to the left. Let your gaze float over to the right. You can have your arms to a cactus shape or maybe out to T. And don't worry too much about stacking the knees one on top of each other. Let this be a passive twist. So really open the right side waist to receive. Enjoy one more full cycle of breath here, in through the nose and out. Gentle tone in the low belly to switch sides, so letting the knees now lower over to the right, gaze to the left, gentle twist. And then as you slowly come back through center, give yourself one more big squeeze. And then let the feet touch down. Bring them to the wide edges of the mat. Let your knees touch in. Bring a hand to heart, a hand to low belly. So this shape is one that allows the sacrum to release. So just creating that sensation here with your awareness. Can you imagine the low belly, low back, softening, expanding, radiating outward? We'll be here a minute or two more, and I will just rest here with you so that you can be with whatever arises in the silence. And only when you're ready, start to bring some sensation into your body. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes. Shifting the knees side to side. Keeping that nice slow quality. There's no urgency here. to one side or the other. Gradually journey back up to a seat, taking your time with each transition. Giving yourself a moment or two here just to observe, notice what you arrived with and whether that's settled, whether it's still present for you, how it may have shifted, what changes may have occurred. Let's enjoy a big breath together. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, gaze up toward the sky. And as you exhale, sigh it out. Thank you for taking these few moments with me in self-care to support your body at this time in the cycle when you can use this movement as medicine. So we can shift from the mindset of that really intense work to movement that is more soothing, more gentle, and more nurturing for your body and your nervous system. So thank you for being here and for letting your body be moved.